There comes a moment in everyone's life when something deep inside whispers this can't be it. You feel it in your gut, in your heart, in your bones, that voice that refuses to be silenced. It's not arrogance. It's not greed. It's truth. It's the call of your potential screaming, you are meant for more. More than the struggle, more than the excuses, more than the life that's just good enough. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That restless energy that stirs inside when you see someone living their dream, and you say to yourself, why not me? That's not envy, that's recognition. That's your spirit remembering who you really are. You were not born to simply exist. You were born to expand, to evolve, to break through limits and create something extraordinary with your life. But here's the truth: most people never answer that call. They hear it, but they drown it out with comfort, with fear, with the noise of the world telling them to stay where they are. They settle, they shrink, they choose safety over significance, but not you. Because something in you refuses to settle. Something in you knows there's another level, another gear, another standard, another destiny waiting for you to rise to it. Success isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you decide. It's the fire you build every single day when no one's watching. It's the moment you say, I'm done playing small. I'm done waiting for permission. I'm done letting fear write my story. Because success begins the second you take back control of your mind, your emotions, your actions. The second you say, enough. I was not created to blend in. I was created to stand out. Every single person who has ever transformed their life started where you are right now, in the tension between who they are and who they know they could be. That space, that discomfort, is your invitation to grow. And yes, it will hurt. Growth always does. It will test you. It will demand your discipline, your patience, your belief when nothing seems to be working. But that's the price of greatness. That's the cost of more. You can't be meant for more and still think like less. You can't create an extraordinary life with an average mindset. You've got to condition your mind to see opportunity where others see obstacles. You've got to train your focus to stay locked in when others quit. You've got to stop asking, can I? And start declaring, I will. Because your belief becomes your blueprint. What you feed your mind becomes the life you live. Success doesn't come from wishing, hoping, or waiting for the right moment. It comes from taking bold, consistent action even when you're scared, even when you're tired, even when no one believes in you yet. It comes from choosing progress over perfection, purpose over comfort, and hunger over hesitation. Every small step you take in the direction of your vision compounds into unstoppable momentum. There's a version of you right now waiting to be unleashed, a stronger, more courageous, more focused version. That version doesn't complain, doesn't procrastinate, doesn't make excuses. That version wakes up with intention, moves with conviction, and refuses to let fear steal another day. That version knows that success is not something to chase, it's something to claim. You are not here by accident. You were designed for growth, for impact, for greatness. You were given dreams not as fantasies, but as directions. Every challenge you've faced, every failure you've endured, every pain you've carried, it all forged the strength you need for the next level. Nothing was wasted. It was preparation, preparation for more. When you finally stop settling for good enough, when you finally say, I deserve to live fully, love deeply, and achieve massively, everything begins to shift. Because the world doesn't respond to half-hearted energy. It responds to certainty. The moment you fully believe that you are meant for more, life begins to open doors that were never visible before. This is your time, your moment, your turning point, the time to stop questioning your worth and start proving your potential. The time to silence the doubt and unleash the power that's been buried inside you all along. Because success isn't out there, it's in you. It's been waiting for you to rise, to commit, to declare, once and for all. There is a voice inside you, a subtle, persistent whisper that refuses to be ignored. A quiet insistence that says you are meant for more. It is not loud or demanding, but it is relentless, and it speaks to the deepest part of your being, the part that knows you were created to accomplish things beyond the ordinary. That voice has always been there, even if you have tried to drown it out with distractions, excuses, or the comfort of mediocrity. It is the inner compass that guides you toward your potential, reminding you that life was not meant to be lived in the shadows, not meant to be a series of compromises, not meant to settle for the ordinary when the extraordinary is possible. Recognizing this voice is the first step toward awakening the truth of who you really are. Many people never hear it, or they hear it and immediately dismiss it as impossible, unreasonable, or unrealistic. They convince themselves that their life is already full, that they should be satisfied, that wanting more is greedy or selfish. But that inner voice is not a lie. It is the undeniable call of your potential, the echo of what is possible if you dare to rise to it. It is the first sign that your life can be transformed if you have the courage to answer. When you recognize this inner call, you begin to see your life through a different lens. Every challenge you have faced, every obstacle that seemed insurmountable, every failure that left you doubting yourself begins to take on a new meaning. You begin to see that none of it was wasted, that every experience has been shaping you, preparing you, building the resilience, strength, and wisdom necessary for the next level of your journey. Recognition of this inner call requires honesty with yourself, a willingness to look beyond excuses and distractions, and a refusal to settle for less than your potential. It requires you to ask yourself difficult questions. Am I living up to who I am capable of being? Am I creating the life I truly want, or am I simply surviving, going through the motions, letting the world define my limits for me? These questions are not comfortable, but they are necessary. They force you to confront the truth that the only thing standing between you and a life of significance is your willingness to embrace it, to pursue it relentlessly, and to honor the call that has been whispering to you all along. Hearing this call also means becoming aware of the patterns in your life that keep you small. It means recognizing the habits, beliefs, and fears that have limited you, often without your conscious awareness. Many people go through life living according to other people's expectations, societal norms, or perceived limitations, never stopping to examine whether these constraints align with their true desires or potential. But the call inside you cannot be silenced by conformity. It grows louder, persistent, and insistent until you are forced to confront it, to make a choice. Continue living in limitation, or step into the life you were born to create. This call challenges you to be bold, to embrace your unique gifts, to acknowledge that your potential is far greater than you have allowed yourself to believe. It is the voice that refuses to accept just enough when you are capable of greatness. It does not ask for permission, it simply insists that you rise, that you act, that you claim what is yours to create. Recognizing this call also brings clarity to your vision of success. It allows you to see that success is not simply measured by money, status, or accolades, but by fulfillment, impact, and alignment with your highest purpose. When you listen to this inner voice, you begin to understand that true success comes from living authentically, from stepping into your power, from using your strengths to make a difference in the world. It shifts your focus from external validation to internal mastery, from comparison to commitment to your own path. You start to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and you recognize that every step forward, no matter how small, is a movement toward the life you are meant to live. Finally, recognizing your inner call is about awakening to responsibility. It is about understanding that you cannot blame circumstances, other people, or luck for the life you have or have not yet created. The moment you hear this call, you are faced with a choice, and the power to act rests entirely within you. It is the invitation to stop waiting, stop doubting, stop deferring your life to a later time, a safer time, a more convenient time. It is the call to embrace your agency, to harness your potential, and to make the conscious decision to pursue what you were born to achieve. It is the recognition that life is not a rehearsal, and that the opportunity to rise to your greatness is here, now, and entirely yours to claim. Taking control of your mind, it is one of the most powerful steps you can take on the path to success. It is the foundation upon which every action, every decision, and every result in your life is built. Most people live their lives on autopilot, letting circumstances, other people, or fleeting emotions dictate how they feel, how they think, and ultimately how they act. They allow fear, doubt, and insecurity to shape their choices, and they wonder why they never achieve the level of success they desire. But the truth is that nothing external has the power to define you unless you give it permission. Your mind is the ultimate command center, and the moment you decide to take full ownership of it, everything begins to change. Taking control of your mindset starts with awareness. You must first notice the patterns of thought that have been running in the background of your life, often without your conscious attention. Thoughts like "I'm not ready," "I can't do this," "this is too hard," or "I'll never be enough" are not truths, they are habits. They are learned responses to past experiences, failures, or the voices of others that you internalized over time. Becoming aware of these thoughts is the first step toward replacing them with empowering beliefs. Awareness is the act of shining a light on the inner dialogue that has been steering your life, and once you see it clearly, you gain the power to change it. Once you are aware of your mental patterns, the next step is to take responsibility for them. Responsibility is the understanding that your thoughts, and therefore your mindset, are within your control. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can control how you interpret it, how you respond to it, and what meaning you assign to it. When you accept that responsibility, you no longer allow yourself to be a passive observer in your own life. You no longer blame circumstances, other people, or luck for your outcomes. Instead, you recognize that every thought, every belief, and every choice you make is a building block of the life you are creating. Taking responsibility for your mind, it is empowering because it puts the reins firmly in your hands. Shaping your mind, also requires intentionality. You cannot leave it to chance, hope, or inspiration alone. You must consciously feed your mind with thoughts, beliefs, and perspectives that align with your vision of success. This means immersing yourself in positivity, seeking knowledge, and surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher rather than drag you down. It means choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems, possibilities rather than limitations, and actions rather than excuses. The mind is like a garden. If you allow weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity to grow unchecked, they will overrun your potential. But if you plant seeds of belief, confidence, and purpose, and you nurture them consistently, they will flourish into habits, attitudes, and results that support your success. Part of taking control of your mind, it is also learning to master your emotions. Thoughts and emotions are deeply connected, and unchecked emotions can sabotage even the best intentions. Fear, frustration, anger, and self-doubt are signals, but they do not have to be dictators. When you learn to observe your emotions without being controlled by them, you gain the ability to choose your response in every situation. You begin to see challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and failures as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. This emotional mastery transforms your mindset from reactive to proactive. It allows you to navigate uncertainty and pressure with clarity and confidence, which is essential for achieving sustained success. Taking control of your mindset also means committing to continuous growth. A fixed mindset believes talent and intelligence are static. A growth mindset understands that ability and success are cultivated through effort, learning, and persistence. Every successful person has experienced failure, rejection, and setbacks, but they did not allow those experiences to define them. They used them as fuel to strengthen their mindset, to refine their skills, and to expand their potential. You must adopt the same approach, recognizing that every challenge is an opportunity to deepen your resilience, expand your knowledge, and reinforce the beliefs that will carry you forward. Taking control of your mind, it is about claiming your power. It is about rejecting the notion that life happens to you and embracing the truth that life happens because of you. It is the conscious choice to think differently, act differently, and therefore create differently. When you take full ownership of your mind, you unlock a level of clarity, confidence, and capability that allows you to pursue your goals with unwavering focus, unstoppable energy, and unshakable belief in yourself. Embracing discomfort and growth is one of the most critical steps on the path. Extraordinary success. Growth does not happen in comfort zones. It happens at the edge of challenge, in the moments when life pushes you beyond what you thought was possible. Most people instinctively avoid discomfort, seeking safety, predictability, and ease. They confuse comfort with security, but in reality, comfort is often the enemy of progress. Every breakthrough, every achievement, and every significant transformation requires stepping into discomfort, confronting fear, and doing what most are unwilling to do. The willingness to face discomfort head-on is the hallmark of those who rise above mediocrity and create lives of purpose, power, and impact. Discomfort often shows up as fear, uncertainty, or resistance. It appears when you are about to take a risk, when you are challenging a long-held belief, or when you are pushing yourself to a higher standard. Many people interpret this feeling as a signal to stop, to retreat, or to protect themselves from failure. But discomfort is not a warning. It is a signal of growth. It is your mind and body preparing you for a level of achievement that requires courage, resilience, and determination. Recognizing discomfort as a necessary part of progress allows you to reframe your perspective. Instead of seeing it as pain or danger, you begin to see it as a guide, a teacher, and an opportunity. Every uncomfortable moment is a chance to expand your capabilities, to strengthen your character, and to move closer to the life you are meant to live. Growth requires intentional action in the face of discomfort. It is not enough to simply recognize that challenge is necessary. You must actively choose to confront it. This means taking steps that scare you, doing things that feel risky, and embracing experiences that stretch your limit. Growth often involves making decisions that are unpopular, confronting your own weaknesses, and challenging the status quo of your life. It means being willing to fail, to stumble, and to make mistakes, because each of these experiences carries lessons that no amount of comfort can provide. The most successful people do not avoid failure. They use it as a tool for growth, learning, and improvement. They understand that every discomfort is a stepping stone to greater skill, knowledge, and strength. Embracing discomfort also requires mental and emotional resilience. Growth is rarely linear, and the path to success is often marked by setbacks, obstacles, and periods of uncertainty. These moments can test your patience, your belief in yourself, and your commitment to your goal. Developing resilience means learning to maintain focus and motivation even when the journey is difficult. It means cultivating a mindset that sees challenges as temporary and solvable rather than permanent and insurmountable. Emotional resilience allows you to manage fear, frustration, and self-doubt, transforming these natural responses into fuel for action rather than reasons to quit. Each time you persist through discomfort, you reinforce your confidence, strengthen your mindset, and expand your capacity to handle even greater challenges in the future. Physical discomfort is often part of the growth process as well. Success requires energy, discipline, and stamina. which are cultivated through habits that may feel uncomfortable at first. Waking up early, committing to consistent practice, maintaining focus for extended periods, and taking care of your body and mind are all forms of deliberate discomfort that pay exponential returns. The body and mind are deeply connected, and pushing yourself to develop endurance, strength, and discipline in one area creates momentum in every other area of life. The willingness to endure temporary physical or mental strain is a reflection of your commitment to achieving long-term growth and success. Another aspect of embracing discomfort is learning to detach from outcomes and focus on effort and progress. Growth often requires taking risks without immediate reward or recognition. It demands patience, persistence, and faith in the process, rather than instant gratification. By focusing on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and your commitment, you reduce fear and hesitation, allowing discomfort to become a tool rather than a barrier. This mindset transforms challenges into opportunities to learn, adapt, and refine your approach, accelerating your development and positioning you for success that is sustainable and meaningful. Embracing discomfort and growth also fosters self-awareness and humility. The process forces you to confront your limitations, recognize areas for improvement, and acknowledge the gap between who you are and who you want to become. It is not easy to face these truths, but doing so allows you to make intentional choices, develop new skills, and expand your capacity. Each time you willingly step into the unknown, take responsibility for your growth, and face what others avoid, you build a foundation of courage, confidence, and resilience that becomes the bedrock of lasting success. In the end, embracing discomfort and growth is about understanding that life rewards those who are willing to endure, persist, and stretch beyond what is familiar. It is about seeing challenges not as obstacles, but as invitations to evolve. It is about stepping into the tension between who you are and who you are capable of becoming, and committing to that process with determination, discipline, and belief. Taking consistent, bold action is the bridge between desire and achievement, between dreams and reality. Too many people spend their lives planning, hoping, and wishing for success, but very few actually take the steps necessary to create it. Action is the catalyst that transforms intention into results, that converts vision into tangible progress. It is not enough to think about your goals, to imagine what your life could be like, or to plan for some future perfect moment. That perfect moment rarely comes. What matters is what you do today, right now, with the resources, energy, and opportunities you have at your disposal. Bold action means deciding that your dreams are worth risk, effort, and persistence, and then committing to move forward, no matter how uncertain or uncomfortable it may feel. Bold action begins with clarity of purpose. You must know what you want, why you want it, and the impact it will have on your life. Without clarity, action becomes scattered, inconsistent, and ineffective. When you are clear about your goals, every step you take is directed, intentional, and aligned with your vision. Clarity fuels confidence because you know exactly where you are going and why it matters. Once you are clear, bold action is no longer optional. It becomes inevitable. You begin to take steps that others might hesitate to take, decisions that may feel risky or intimidating, and initiatives that push you beyond the ordinary. Consistency is equally important. One bold action may start momentum, but repeated action builds mastery, credibility, and results. Consistency is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is the daily commitment to take steps, however small, in the direction of your goals. Some days it will be easy. Other days it will feel like a struggle. Some days your energy will be high, and other days your motivation will be low. The key is to keep moving, to take action even when circumstances are less than ideal. Momentum compounds over time, and the consistent application of effort transforms small actions into extraordinary outcomes. Every decision, every effort, every moment of discipline contributes to the larger picture. creating the path toward success that would not exist without persistent action. Bold action also requires courage. Fear is always present when you step outside your comfort zone, when you attempt something new, when you challenge the status quo. Fear will whisper doubts, urge hesitation, and tempt you to retreat to safety. But courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting despite it. Bold action demands that you face uncertainty, embrace risk, and commit fully to your goals even when the outcome is not guaranteed. Each time you act courageously, you reinforce your belief in yourself, your capacity, and your ability to navigate challenges. Courage is a muscle that strengthens with use, and every bold step you take increases your confidence to take the next one. Action is also about decisiveness. Indecision is one of the greatest obstacles to progress. Too often, people wait for perfect timing, perfect conditions, or perfect knowledge before they act. The truth is, perfect conditions rarely exist. Decisions made with imperfect information are better than decisions delayed indefinitely. Bold action requires you to trust your judgment, rely on your preparation, and commit to moving forward even when uncertainty is present. Once action is taken, adjustments can be made along the way, but without the initial step, nothing changes. Another aspect of taking bold action is embracing accountability. When you commit to action, you accept responsibility for your results. You understand that no one else will create the life you desire for you. You cannot blame circumstances, other people, or luck for outcomes that are within your control. Accountability strengthens resolve, sharpens focus, and fuels perseverance. It transforms action from random effort into deliberate progress, ensuring that each step moves you closer to the life you are capable of achieving. Taking bold action also means embracing learning through experience. Action without reflection and adaptation can be wasted effort. Every action provides feedback, every attempt offers insight, and every failure is an opportunity to refine your approach. Bold action is not reckless. It is informed by vision, guided by clarity, and executed with intentionality. The willingness to act, learn, and adjust creates a cycle of continuous improvement that propels you toward higher levels of success. Ultimately, consistent, bold action is the engine of achievement. It is the daily choice to step forward, to challenge yourself, and to refuse complacency. It transforms dreams into reality, aspirations into accomplishments, and potential into proven results. The people who achieve extraordinary success are not the most talented, luckiest, or smartest. They are the ones who take action relentlessly, courageously, and with unwavering commitment. Each moment you act decisively and consistently, you reinforce your power, expand your influence, and create unstoppable momentum that carries you toward your goals. Claiming your potential is the ultimate declaration of self, belief, and purpose. It is the recognition that you are not here by accident, that your life has meaning, and that you have the ability to achieve far more than you may have been conditioned to believe. Many people drift through life without fully embracing their potential. They settle for what is comfortable, familiar, or expected, and in doing so, they leave the greatest parts of themselves unexplored and unexpressed. Claiming your potential begins with understanding that your life is a blank canvas, and that the power to create a masterpiece rests entirely within you. It is a conscious decision to step fully into your strengths, your vision, and your abilities, and to refuse to allow fear, doubt, or limitation to define what you can achieve. Understanding your potential requires deep self-awareness. You must examine your talents, your skills, and your passions, as well as your limitations and areas for growth. Self-awareness is the foundation upon which potential is realized. It allows you to recognize what you are capable of and where you need to invest effort to grow further. Many people underestimate themselves because they focus on what they lack rather than what they can build upon. When you shift your focus to your inherent strengths and possibilities, you open the door to exponential growth. Every experience, every success, and every failure becomes part of the process that reveals the depth and breadth of your potential. Claiming your potential also demands courage. It is impossible to step fully into who you are meant to be without confronting fear. Fear will manifest as doubt, procrastination, or the temptation to follow the safe, familiar path. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is taking action in spite of fear. Every act of courage, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in your abilities and strengthens the connection to your potential. Courage allows you to move forward even when the outcome is uncertain, to take risks that are necessary for growth, and to break free from the limitations imposed by self, doubt, or external expectations. Each courageous step is a claim on the life that is waiting for you, a statement that you will no longer allow fear to dictate the boundaries of your success. Another essential aspect of claiming your potential is developing discipline and commitment. Potential is meaningless without action. Talent, skill, and opportunity alone will not lead to success unless they are harnessed with consistent effort and intentional focus. Discipline is the bridge between what you know you can achieve and what you actually accomplish. It is the daily choice to show up, to do the work, and to push beyond resistance. Commitment ensures that even when progress is slow, obstacles arise, or motivation wanes, you continue moving toward your goals. Discipline and commitment together transform potential into performance, turning what is possible into what is tangible. Claiming your potential also requires a mindset of growth and possibility. Those who limit themselves often operate with a fixed mindset, believing that their abilities and opportunities are predetermined. In contrast, a growth mindset recognizes that skills, intelligence, and success can be developed through effort, learning, and resilience. By embracing a growth mindset, you give yourself permission to explore, to experiment, and to expand beyond current limitations. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to stretch, each failure a lesson, and each achievement a stepping stone to a higher level of potential. Your mind becomes the engine that drives your development, shaping what you are capable of and what you ultimately achieve. Taking ownership of your life is a critical part of claiming your potential. You must accept responsibility for your choices, your actions, and your outcomes. No one else can unlock your potential for you. Waiting for permission, approval, or external validation is a trap that keeps your greatness dormant. By taking full ownership, you empower yourself to make decisions that align with your vision, to take risks that accelerate your growth, and to invest in yourself with focus and intention. Ownership shifts your perspective from being a passive participant in life to being an active creator, capable of shaping your reality according to your highest aspirations. Finally, claiming your potential is about purpose. True potential is not measured by personal gain alone, but by the impact you create, the legacy you leave, and the contribution you make to others. When you align your abilities, actions, and ambitions with a sense of purpose, your potential expands exponentially. Purpose gives your effort direction, fuels perseverance, and inspires innovation. It ensures that the life you are creating is not just successful in the conventional sense, but meaningful, fulfilling, and transformative. Recognizing that your potential is tied to a higher mission empowers you to pursue it with passion, resilience, and unwavering belief.